Good morning, everyone. It is great to see you, and I'm so excited that you're here for Sunday School. We have something very exciting happening for the months of July and August in our children's Sunday School area. We are using a new curriculum. Well, it's new right now. I'll explain later. It is something called The Good Shepherd, and it was written by Reverend Brenda Stobbe, who is actually the mother of our Reverend Winter Hamilton. So we have a very special connection to this curriculum here at Manchester UMC. It is also very special and near and dear to my heart because when I grew up here as a child your age at Manchester, this curriculum is what we used during Sunday School. So that's what makes it extra special. And finally, we're also really excited because Pastor Andy and our guest preachers for the months of July and August will be preaching on the same stories that we use for Sunday School. Finally, parents or guardians, if you would like to join a small group, now is the time in July and August. Why, you might ask? Because we're using this same curriculum for our all church study as well. We are trying to connect everyone in our church community, including our children, and we are so excited about that. I have a few things to tell you about this curriculum and the lessons that we'll be doing. First, I want to talk to my very close friends that are joining us for our regular 9:30 Sunday School time. These are stories that you will love. They're stories that you might have already heard or brand new, but these are great Bible stories that will help you continue to connect with God and grow on our faith journey. And that's what we're all about, right? So I'm very excited to have you join me on this journey. For my parents and guardians, I have something else really important to talk with you about. The Good Shepherd curriculum helps our children grow cognitively, socially, emotionally, and spiritually. And because of that, there are some special wondering questions at the end of our time together. There are wondering questions for our younger kiddos and wondering questions for our older kiddos. Here's the thing with the wondering questions. I need you to not answer them. I know that might sound silly and might be really hard, but please, please, please do not answer the wondering questions for your kids. This is a special time for them to wonder, to learn more, to think about what these characters might have been thinking about through our Bible stories. You get the chance to wonder right along with them. And in addition, some of these questions don't have answers, and that's okay too. Just have fun, relax, and enjoy the videos and activities together. Let's talk a little bit about where you can find these videos on a Sunday morning. First of all, they are going to play following the 9:30 Facebook Live worship service. It's just going to continue playing, so take time to watch these with your family, and our entire congregation will be joining you. In addition, these videos will be posted on the Children and Family Ministries Facebook group page, and also I will be putting them online so you can continue to watch them over and over and over again. They might be really helpful as you continue to do the activities. Finally, all of these activities that go along, just like we do on other Sunday mornings, can be found on the Facebook page for Children and Family Ministries. I hope you enjoy these stories as much as I do. These are great Bible stories that teach us wonderful lessons, and we get to learn about amazing people. Take time to listen, wonder, and just enjoy being with our very special storytellers each week. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.
Hey kids, it's Reverend Winter Hamilton from here at your playground at your church. And I am here to share a story with you today. It's a story that Jesus told, a parable that Jesus told called The Workers in the Field. And the story's in this box, but all of the words to today's story are inside of me. So let's make a little bit of silence so I can find the words to today's story. This is a parable box. I wonder if there's really a parable inside of this box. You see, parables are very precious. This box kind of looks like a gift. Gifts are given to you. It's not something that you could go buy from the store or even return. We can put our gift, our box, back on the shelf, or we could open the lid and take a look at it. Maybe if we lifted the lid, we could discover a parable. Once there was a man who said such amazing things and did such wonderful things that people began to follow him. And often this man would talk about the kingdom of heaven. What is the kingdom of heaven like? They asked. For none of them had ever been there or known anyone who had. Then the man who said amazing things and did wonderful things told this parable. Let's see what's in our box here. I wonder what this is. Kids, what do you think that is? The kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven, is like a man who hires people to work. Let's find all those people. About 6 o'clock one morning, the man went to hire people to work in the vineyard. He found a couple people to work for one day's wages, and they went and they worked in the vineyard. About 9 a.m. on that same day, he was back at the marketplace and saw people standing around and said, You go work in the vineyard, and I will pay you a day's wage. I will pay you a fair wage. And so they went. And the same thing happened around noon. And at about 3 o'clock p.m. Finally, around 5 o'clock p.m., the man found more people walking through the marketplace and said, Why haven't you been working? No one has hired us yet, they said. He told them to go work in his vineyard too. When evening came, the owner of the vineyard came to his servant and said, I want you to pay all of the workers 1 day's wage. And I want you to start by paying the last people you hired, all the way backwards to the first people you hired. And so the servant called forth the last workers to be hired and paid them each 1 day's wage. And then he called those who had been hired at 3 o'clock and paid them each 1 day's wage. He called to those he had hired at 1 or noon and paid them each 1 day's wage. And same for those who were hired at 9 a.m. And lastly, he called the first ones who had been hired at 6 and paid them 1 day's wage. When the workers who were hired first finally got to the servant of the owner, they thought that they would have been paid more. And when they got the money, they began to grumble, saying, We did a lot more work than all of these people who came later. But the owner said to them, "Friend, I didn't treat you wrong. I gave you just what I promised. Take what belongs to you and go. I choose to give the last workers the same thing I gave you. It's my money, and I may be generous with it if I choose to. Or will you tell me what to do with my own possessions?" Then the owner said, "So the last will be first, and the first will be last." I wonder how the workers who worked just a little felt about the money they received. I wonder how the first workers hired felt about what they received. I wonder if the first workers hired said unkind things to the last workers hired. I wonder if the owner was being fair. I wonder about times in your life when things didn't seem fair. We have some questions for some older kids who might want to dig a little bit deeper. What do you think would have been a fair settlement for all of the workers in this story? Have you ever had a time when someone paid you more than you were supposed to? When they gave you more than they had to? How did you feel? Good? Guilty? Did you share any of your extra? We hear only the words of grumbling from the first workers. Let's think about the other workers. How did they feel? Decide if they would have shared any of their money. Did they feel guilty at all? How do you feel about not being able to work your way into the kingdom of God, but having it be a gift that God gives you? Why then does the Bible teach us to be fair and kind people? How should you live? Does it matter? Watch how I carefully put away our story for today, so that when you're back at the church, if this is a story that you want to use to play with and to make your own, you'll know right where everything goes. We've got to put our coins away, get the owner and the servant and all of our workers. Right? Our vineyard pieces where they grew the grapes. Now you have to fold. It's a pretty big piece of fabric here, huh? I guess we kind of figured out. I think that may be grass. Right? Gotta put it away really special and precious. There. Now our story's ready for the next person. Thank you so much for joining us today for our story. What a great time we get to have together. If you want to get more involved on Manchester Children and Family Ministries Facebook page, we have more resources, worksheets to do, and things that you could be watching and getting into. We hope you have a wonderful day.